Royal moment. King Felipe's unexpected reaction as Leonor and Christian steal the spotlight sparkles Spain Denmark. The hall was shining. Spain's royal gala in Madrid, an evening of elegance, unity, and power. The cameras flashed, the orchestra played, and all eyes were meant to be on King Felipe VI. But not tonight. Because tonight, something unexpected happened. A single moment. A shared glance. And suddenly, the entire world forgot the king, and focused on the young royals standing beside him. Princess Leonor and Prince Christian had just stolen the spotlight. And King Felipe's reaction, no one saw it coming. It started subtly, almost imperceptibly. Leonor, radiant in a shimmering silver gown, entered the grand ballroom at her father's side. She looked poised, every inch the future Queen of Spain. Yet when she turned her head, when her eyes found Christian across the room, something electric passed between them. The photographers caught it instantly. One look, one smile, one heartbeat, and the room seemed to shift. Even before they spoke, people whispered. It wasn't just admiration, it was connection. The kind that doesn't need words. King Felipe noticed too. Standing tall, composed as always, the king's eyes followed the subtle magnetism between his daughter and the Danish prince. For years, he'd watched Leonor carry the weight of expectation with grace. But tonight, for the first time, he saw something different, his daughter as a woman stepping into her own light. Still, the palace had not planned for this kind of attention. The Spanish press had been instructed to highlight the king's new initiative for youth leadership. The royal staff had prepared every detail. Yet the headlines that followed the next morning had nothing to do with policy or speeches. They were about that moment. That smile. That glance. Leonor and Christian, the next generation of European royals. Future queen and future king share magical moment in Madrid. King Felipe's subtle reaction goes viral. But what exactly happened in that moment that captivated millions, and what did the king truly feel behind his composed smile? To understand that, we need to go back to the weeks leading up to the gala. Leonor had just completed her latest round of military training. 3 branches of the Spanish armed forces. Sleepless nights. Grueling days. Her father had insisted she finish before any major public reappearance. Strength first, image second, he'd told her. She understood. But deep down, Leonor wanted more than duty. She wanted balance. She wanted authenticity. And then came the invitation, from Denmark. A cultural delegation visit. Prince Christian had personally written the letter, officially through royal channels, but his words carried warmth. It would mean a great deal to Denmark to share this event with the heir to Spain. The tone was diplomatic, but the meaning, personal. When Leonor arrived in Copenhagen weeks later, away from the cameras, the two spent quiet hours together. Museums, gardens, evenings by the water. Their friendship, once youthful and reserved, had deepened into something unspoken. And yet, they both knew the reality, they were heirs to 2 powerful thrones. Every move watched, every emotion judged. That's why the gala in Madrid felt different. For the first time, their worlds collided publicly. Denmark's young prince, representing his family, standing beside Spain's future queen, representing hers. 2 dynasties, linked not just by protocol, but by feeling. And King Felipe, he saw all of it. At first, pride. His daughter was glowing, confident, in command. The people loved her. Every smile she gave Christian drew applause from the crowd, admiration from diplomats. Yet beneath that pride was something else, a father's realization. Leonor was no longer his little girl. As the orchestra played the royal waltz, the moment arrived that no one expected. The host invited the young heirs to dance. The hall fell silent. Leonor hesitated, glancing toward her father. For a heartbeat, everything froze. Philippe's gaze met hers across the room. A lifetime of royal lessons in a single look. And then, he nodded. Permission granted. Leonor took Christian's hand. The crowd erupted softly in gasps and applause. The music began. And just like that, Spain and Denmark danced together. Every move measured, graceful, magnetic. Every gesture captured. But while the world saw romance and symbolism, Felipe saw something far more profound. He saw the future, his daughter representing Spain not through speeches or ceremonies, but through humanity, warmth, and genuine connection. Later that night, after the gala ended and the cameras were gone, Leonor returned to her father's study. She expected the conversation to be formal, maybe even tense. She was wrong. Felipe looked up from his desk, smiled faintly, and said, "You carried yourself with grace tonight. But tell me honestly, was that dance official, or personal?" She blushed. "A bit of both," she admitted. Felipe leaned back, thoughtful. "Then it was perfect." She stared, surprised. "You're not upset?" He shook his head. "Leonor, a king can command respect. But a queen must inspire love. And tonight, you inspired it." Those words stayed with her. Because behind the calm exterior, Philippe's reaction had not been scripted or strategic, it was genuine pride, laced with bittersweet understanding. He had spent his life balancing duty and emotion, and now he watched his daughter begin that same journey, in her own way. But not everyone in the royal circle shared that warmth. The next morning, whispers spread through the Spanish court. Some advisors expressed concern. The princess must not appear distracted, one senior aide warned. Public affection could overshadow her training. Another noted, the Danish connection is politically delicate. The media must not misinterpret it. Felipe listened quietly to their concerns. And when they were done, he simply said, "Let them talk. My daughter has done nothing wrong. She showed the world who she is. That's what Spain needs." It was a rare moment of defiance within the royal machine. But it was also a reflection of evolution. The monarchy of King Felipe's youth had been rigid, cautious, often cold. The monarchy his daughter was shaping was human, emotional, relatable. Meanwhile, in Denmark, the same scene replayed across television screens. Queen Mary smiled knowingly as she watched the footage of her son dancing with Leonor. "They remind me of us," she murmured to Crown Prince Frederick. He laughed softly. "Yes, but let's hope they face less resistance than we did." In Spain, public response was overwhelming. The people adored it. Social media flooded with clips of their dance, their smiles, their subtle exchanges. Young Spaniards saw Leonor not just as a royal symbol, but as a person, graceful, kind, and brave enough to show emotion. And perhaps that was the moment Felipe realized something extraordinary. That leadership in the 21st century wasn't about hiding humanity, it was about embracing it. Weeks later, during a private family dinner, Letizia teased him gently. "So," she said with a smile, "are you ready to share the spotlight?" Felipe laughed softly, a rare, unguarded sound. "It seems I no longer have a choice." He paused, looking at a framed photo of Leonor in her military uniform. "But I couldn't be prouder. If she shines, Spain shines." That statement summed up the heart of his reaction. It wasn't jealousy. It wasn't discomfort. It was quiet acceptance, the recognition that his daughter's era had begun. And for Leonor, that night marked a turning point. After the gala, she received countless letters from young Spaniards, thanking her for showing strength and vulnerability at once. "You made me believe we can be real and royal," one letter read. Christian, too, sent a message days later. "You were magnificent," he wrote. "Your father's look, pride and love. You carry it all." Her reply was simple, "We carry it together." And so, beneath the surface of headlines and viral moments, a deeper story was unfolding. The story of a king watching the torch of relevance pass, not through abdication, but through love. A father seeing his daughter outgrow his shadow and step into her own. By the time the next royal engagement arrived, Felipe and Leonor stood side by side once more. The cameras rolled, the crowds cheered, and when Leonor spoke at the podium, her voice was strong, clear, regal. When she finished, Felipe applauded first, standing before anyone else dared. It was his silent message to the world, "The future has arrived. And I welcome it." That was King Felipe's unexpected reaction. Not resistance, not jealousy, but pride, humility, and understanding. He had seen something that went beyond romance or symbolism. He saw hope. The hope that the next generation could carry the crown differently, with warmth, with authenticity, with humanity. As the orchestra's echoes faded that unforgettable night, one truth remained. Leonor and Christian may have stolen the spotlight, but Felipe had gained something far greater, a vision of a monarchy renewed through love and light. And that, perhaps, is what true kingship means. To watch the future rise, and to smile as it surpasses you.